Hello, this is Amanda from Multisoft Corporation, your MLM solutions provider. Today I'm going over the first commissions training, and we're doing this in parts. So after this training, you should know how to load users, customers, and distributors into your system to know about different roles and how to check sponsors, as well as different items that you can check in user management. So to start, you're going to go to User and User Management. You want to be logged into your admin account, and it'll bring you here. I wanted to show you this module first. If you click on the Learn button, this will take you to our training site and actually to the User Management training site. So this shows you everything you can do in user management. And it also gives you a test of it, so you don't have to go through and do it yourself. You can just watch and see what it does. If you're just curious about what every button in user management does, we do have that available for you. We're just going to move along down here. You can see there's the search button and there's an advanced search. So search is just for a name. So if you put Smith in here and click on search, the system will try and find anybody with the name Smith in their name. So I would generally only use this if I didn't know someone's ID number and I knew a little bit about their name and I need to try and locate who they are. But generally we like you to use ID numbers, especially when you're putting in help desk tickets, so that we know that we're working with the right user. So you would use the advanced search. Let's click on advanced search. There's lots of different options in here. You can search by email. You can also search by all the different roles in your company. You can country, state, when they enrolled as far as date ranges, their site names, even commission type. So there's all these different items. The most commonly used is the ID and the sponsor ID. So I'm going to put in an ID right here, and I'm going to click on search. And we're just going to go over the information that it brings up. So it does bring up the username. So here's their name. This is Chase Lapping. Here's his ID, 1001. And here's his enrollment date. You see it was May 30th, 2014. It gives his contact information as well as his email. And it shows his status. He's not deleted. He's an active user, but he's not qualified. And qualified is more for a binary commissions type, but it will show that he's not qualified here as well. And then it shows, this is the part that's a little bit confusing, it shows income center. This means that he does have an active site. If he was deleted, it wouldn't show he has one income center. And then this is the type of site he has. It's just named Chase. Here's his sponsor ID, so his sponsor is user 100,000. And if he had joined as a company, it would have his company name here as well. So that shows you what comes up when you're searching by ID number. Now let's put him in the sponsor ID field. And we're going to click on search. What this shows is everybody he's sponsored. So he'll have all of his customers and all of his distributors. You can further filter if you'd like. If you just want to see who his distributors are, you would click distributor, and then you go ahead and hit search again. This brings up all of the distributors in his downline. If you wanted to see his customers, you click on customers, and then you click search again. And here's all of the customers in his downline. You can see the sponsor is right here. Here's his sponsor ID, 100,001. You can click on the sponsor ID, and it'll take you right to his page where it shows all of his information. All right, let's go back to user management. So that's how you use the advanced search field. I'm going to go right under here. I showed you a little bit about this already, but by default it brings up all of the distributors. You can just click on distributors. It'll filter all the distributors out in the system, all of your customers. Free distributors, we'll go over what that is in just a moment, and then all of the users in your system, we'll also go over that. So if you want to add users into your system, the main thing to know about users is they're not a distributor and they're not a customer in your site. Generally, there's someone who has some kind of admin rights in your site, meaning they work for your company, and they're going to be a user in your system doing different things, and you want to keep track of who's doing those things. So you would want everybody who's going to be logging in, changing things, adding orders, anything like that as an admin, to have their own user login, and I'll show you why that's important in just a moment. So to add a user into the system, you're going to hover over this add button, and you can see user is the first one. You just click on user, and here you're just going to put in their information. So I'm just going to put in some information here. And they put in their username, password. Well, I'll go ahead and pause it and fill out all this information. Okay, so I went ahead and just put in some test information. I just called it user test. I'll do user test 1 so we know which one it is in case we have some more test users in the account. Just put in any kind of information here. Once you have everything the way you'd like it, you go ahead and click on the finish, and then it will highlight anything that you forgot to fill out if it's important and needed to create a user account. So we've created the user account, and then when you go to users, we should be able to see it. Here it is, user test 1. And anytime this person does any kind of changes in the account, you can look at the history of things that they've changed in, and it'll show that user test 1 made this change. So that's why it's important that everybody who's going to be doing anything in your account as an admin has their own sign-in. All right, so let's go to the next one. We're going to go to customers. So user, you can only add a user in the account this way as an admin. Customers can be added two different ways. So a person can just go to a replicated site, and I'm going to go ahead and sign out. So I'm on a replicated site, and even go to the home page here. And if I wanted to go ahead and create a customer account, there's different ways you can get there, but I would just do the sign in maybe in the shop page, and I create my account here. So what this does is wherever replicated site I'm on, I'm their customer. So I'm signed in under them, and they're my sponsor. So as an admin, you can create a customer under any sponsor you would like. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. So I'm signing in with my admin account. I'm going back to user and user management, and this is if I want to create a customer but I want to put them under a different sponsor. So I would hover over add, go to customer, and it looks very similar to the customer sign up page, but the only difference is there's a sponsor ID in here. So I would just put the sponsor that I'd like them to be under. We'll use Wonder1001 and put in their information. Make sure you put the right ID in there. Create their username and their password. And I'll go ahead and pause it when I'm finished putting this information. Alright, so I filled out all the information, and then if you hit complete registration, it'll tell you if you forgot anything. I just want you to look at the ID that I put this. So Wonder1001 is the sponsor. So I'm going to go ahead and complete registration, and we'll go ahead and check that. And the customer name is test customer. So let's go ahead and let's use the advanced search, and I'm going to use that sponsor right here again. And we'll go ahead and search. I'm actually going to filter by customer and hit search again. And we should see test customer right here. So they were just enrolled today. So that shows you how you can enroll a customer as an admin underneath a different sponsor, or a customer can just go to a replicated site and enroll like usual and be a customer under that sponsor. So let's go to the next one. Let's go to distributor. So I'm going to go ahead and click on distributor, and I'm going to show you the difference between adding a distributor as an admin and then someone who's just going to a replicated site. It looks very similar. So I'm signed in as admin. I'm going to go ahead and go through the enrollment options. So here's that same idea. I can put a sponsor. You want to put it all the way across. When you first have your system, you'll see all three systems enabled. Then eventually it'll only show your system. So if you're only a unilevel system, eventually it'll only show that. But when you first get it, it shows all three. When you're putting in the sponsor, you put it all the way across. And let's just put in an example. Here's our sponsor we were using. So I would go ahead and copy, or you can type it in. You want to put it all the way across, and you'll see their name come. And then there's the spelling right here. So you would do auto balance. Even if you don't have a system where you have to worry about if it's on the right or the left, you would just put something in there, or it does populate that you need to finish filling it out, put in all the information that you would like them to have. So this is something that isn't on the regular enrollment. So if I go to a replicated site, my enrollment date is timestamped in there for me. As an admin, I can change an enrollment date. And the reason for this is if I want someone to show up in a different period as far as compensation date, then I can go ahead and change that. So if this particular person that's enrolling, if I want them to get paid out and they're going to do some other sales or something like that, I can go ahead and change their enrollment date. So I could make it for the period that's already happened. I can go back in the past and change their enrollment date. So instead of them actually enrolling today, they enrolled in the previous commission period. So that's something that's available for admin. Also, admin has availability to bypass payments. This is also something that's only available for admin. So there's the main things I wanted to show you when you're enrolling a distributor. You can put them under any sponsor you would like, you can bypass payments, and you can change enrollment dates. Now if I sign out and I'm just on a replicated site of any distributor and I click the join now, you'll see how similar it looks. But the main difference will be that those particular fields are not visible for them. So you can see there's their birth date and everything, but it doesn't give them a choice to put in their enrollment date. They're also not able to bypass payment. So that's the main thing to remember when you're enrolling distributors into the system, is that you can do that as admin, or you can just send them to a replicated site and they can go ahead and enroll themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Okay, so let's go back to our user management page. Hover over add. So there's one more in here. It's called free distributor. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and tell you a little bit about what a free distributor is. So a lot of times people will have a different site that they had before they came to Multisoft, and people have already purchased those requirements. All they want to do is bring them into the system. They don't want them to purchase anything. They don't want to create an invoice or an order or anything like that. So in that case, you would just enroll them as a free distributor. You'd put the sponsor you want them under, select the billing information, put in all of their information, and then you put the reason why you're doing this and hit save and close. And this creates a free distributor, or someone who's brought into the company without creating an invoice. Now there's no difference that Multisoft sees between a free distributor and a distributor. You're still charged monthly for them just like you would be. They have all the same roles they would in the system. The only difference is how you brought them in. You brought them in without charging them, where others, you brought them in and they were charged. So that's the only difference between a distributor and a free distributor. The system will go ahead and keep that for you though, so you can look and see who did I bring in that did not create an invoice, and who were the regular distributors that I brought in that created an invoice and purchased the requirements to become part of the company. So that shows you a little bit about that. There is one more thing I want to show you before I conclude here, and that's the sort by. So you can sort this information by different items. First name, last name, it's sorted by ID, and user 100,000 is the company ID number. So user 100,000 will always be at the top of the tree. And you can also sort by enrollment date, which is one that I use, so I can see who is the last person to enroll. And you can look just for distributors if you'd like. When you hover over each one of the names, you'll be able to see what their role is in the company. So let's go to all. You can see that this one's a customer, this one's a distributor. If we go to users, we should see different users. You can see they're a user in the company. So if you'd like to know what the role is for a person, every once in a while a person will enroll as a customer, then they'll go ahead and enroll again as a distributor. So sometimes that could cause a problem if they have a customer account and a distributor account. So you'll be able to see which one is which and disable the one that they don't need anymore. So that's something that does happen. So you just want to hover over their name and you'll be able to tell what their role is in the company. So that concludes the first part of the commissions training, and that's just getting all of your users into the system because you can't start commissions or anything else without having users first into the system. Please share this webinar training with your company administrators and support team in order to enhance the services provided to your customers and distributors. We appreciate your feedback and input. Please let us know if this helped and how we can improve supporting you. If you have any questions about this or any other trainings, would like to schedule one-on-one training with one of our CSRs, or would like to speak with a Multisoft account executive, please call us at 1-239-945-6433 or submit a help desk ticket request at helpdesk.marketpowerpro.com.